Somehow it's been over 8 years since Rockstar Games' Grand Theft Auto 5 released onto 7th generation consoles and onto 8th generation as well, and now finally in 2022 it arrives on 9th generation consoles too. So much has already been said about this open world Goliath, and while its online component had a mixed start, its longevity is something to be commended. But as it leaps onto PlayStation and Xbox Series consoles alike with new improvements, so to speak, is it really worth picking up? Well, today we're going to get into Grand Theft Auto 5 Next Gen Edition. For those of you that never picked up Grand Theft Auto 5 or just haven't been that enamoured with the series over the last decade or so, the main narrative of this installment of the franchise was 3 protagonists, or antagonists depending on how you look at it, and that's Michael, Trevor and Franklin. Each of them with unique personalities and perspectives on life come together to pull off heists and delve deeper into the criminal underworld of a HD era Los Santos. Personally for me, I've never been a big fan of GTA 5's story, whereas GTA 4 was a bit more darker, a bit more mature. It still retained that satire that Rockstar Games have always had a sharp sensibility for, but in GTA 5 it often feels misguided and, to be honest, a little bit cringe, and while that might be the intention with some of it, it just doesn't quite hit the mark for me personally, but again, your mileage may vary with that one. Despite its narrative shortcomings, that doesn't mean there isn't fun to be had, because the story of GTA 5 definitely has plenty of bombastic moments to enjoy. We know by now that Rockstar Games knows how to craft a good set piece. We've seen it in the Red Dead Redemption games, and even in Bully, they know how to craft incredible action. And while the gunplay here doesn't feel as punchy as Max Payne 3 despite being on the same engine, it still gets the job done. It's serviceable. As I say, whether you're diving into this for the first time or revisiting it like an old friend, you're still going to get that same sense of fun. In all honesty, GTA 5 Next Gen Edition is going to disappoint people who are looking for more supplementary content for the story and whatnot. You're not going to find that here, unfortunately. This is mostly an aesthetic and performance based upgrade. It just doesn't quite feel as expansive as it did when it came to the PlayStation 4 and such. With that, you obviously had the first person mode edition and things of that nature, but here, because you're just getting that in a new shiny 60 FPS 4K package, it isn't quite as impressive, but it is a nice novelty to be able to play GTA 5 at 60 FPS on consoles. And while PC players for years have had that luxury, if you're more of a casual player and you don't really want to spend loads of money on a PC setup, it's nice to have that option now on consoles. If you're lucky enough to own an Xbox Series S or even an X or a PS5, you've got the option now to play it at a high resolution with a stable 60 FPS frame rate. Outside of the obvious performance upgrades, there are some neat additions, specifically with the DualShock 5 controller. Surprisingly, one of the best additions to the next gen upgrade is the sound. They've added 3D audio, and cars and weapons just sound far more weighted and full of aggression and raw as you're taking a car through a tunnel or you're taking it across the beaches of Los Santos. You feel that motor just clocking all the fuel through. It's so invigorating to do. And that leads me into GTA Online, which has kind of superseded the actual main game itself and has provided the game with its decade-long longevity. It seems to have outgrown the boundaries of GTA 4 and Red Dead 2's multiplayer, and it's still going, and obviously there is monetization attached to that in the form of the shark cards. It's just the price to pay, unfortunately, with these live service type multiplayer experiences. But there's just something about GTA Online's concept of freedom that isn't present in the main campaign for me personally. It's all about unpredictability, chaos, and getting your friends together and creating opportunities. And while you're going to get griefers flying around and oppressors and injects blowing you up, there's always still that sense of just having fun, and that's just something that GTA 5 just seems to spell out from the get-go. It's all about having a fun time, and that is all the more present in the online experience. There's still things I don't like about GTA Online, mainly to do with the mission structure. It can feel a bit gimmicky at times, and it takes a long time to set up heists and whatnot, but when you do get into some of the funner modes, like the Tron Legacy inspired races and whatnot, there's just so much just unrelented mayhem to create. Ultimately, it's going to come down to how much you love the Grand Theft Auto franchise. If you're thinking about picking this up and you don't already own it, it will probably cost you around £60 to £70. I believe if you own the game already, there is an introductory price that they're calling it, which is around $8.99. And I do believe that Grand Theft Auto Online is free as well for the first couple of months of the release from now. So if you're interested in checking that out, you can do so. But just like it was in 2013, it's just Grand Theft Auto 5 at the end of the day.